Top ladies, my name is Chaz, and welcome to the first actual video of what if Deku was the most powerfulest man in the world. It's also a what if Deku never met All Might as well. So this is the first ever. This is my version. So let's start from the very beginning of time. It's medieval times, like way before. So there was this dragon. His name, or I should say, what if Deku was Infinity Destroyer Dragon? That's what I should have said. So, basically, the Infinity Dragon woke from its slumber and caused some chaos, and the apocalypse thing. He is so powerful that you need the entire army to kill him. But one brave soldier was him. Let's say he was King Arthur or whatever. So, or some unnamed kingdom. He is a king of swords. And so, the king of swords battled against the dragon with his eldest brother. So both of them defeated him, and they made a treaty because he telepathically says, I'm just doing my job. Okay? Are we cool? As a king says, you killed millions and trillions of people. How is that a job? As he says, it's actually how I need to survive. Survival of the fittest. As one of them actually do believe in the dragon. Him. And so he tells his brother that he's not really doing any damage. Or that he says, is that weird for him to only kill certain people? As he looks at the corpses of bad people or thieves that they were trying to track down. As he says, okay, as the dragon says, then now, as he looks at him, saying, I know that, and Omi died soon because he's an old man. Or so so basically he used, or the dragon used his, or asked it knight to borrow his sword to, as he, because he actually told them that I really don't want this any more aging process, so just finish me, please. As they agree, and now he been reincarnated as Zuko Midoriya. Where is he? Zuko Midoriya. And so, let's start. And it's just a paper that's under my phone that's making that crackly sound. Okay. So, when Deku was born, or actually, his parents, like his mother and his father, I'll just use that one. So both of them went to the church of, because the both kings of that church thing, or actually their nuns, made that church to honor themselves. And so they, like, Inko went for him, and Sashi, I think I said his name right, goes for him. So, but both of them were in it, and they actually got married and had, let's say, 4 children. 3 girls, 1 boy. The boy was Zuko Midoriya. And his 2 girls, that is them from One Punch Man. Both of them. And his sister, where is it? Where is she? His sister was, I'm struggling. So basically, his sister was, let's say it was like, oh, here she is. Her. So she ends up, or all 4 went and did their, like, quirk thing at different times, because one, she's the older sister, and she's the second oldest sister, and Zuko was the youngest brother, and Zumi was the third oldest sister. So, then, when they were growing up, or actually when they went to a quirk doctor, where alright, can't see. I'm not blind, it's just, I'm just woke up a few minutes. Okay? Oh, here he is. So, he he told them, like, told her that she had, like, telekinesis and mind reading abilities. Yes. And he also told her the same thing, but on a much grander scale. And then he told, Zumi that she has the same telekinesis and fire breath quirk. But one day he went to Zuko, he just, like, he itched his head, or like, well, as he's struggling to find some words. Because Inko's like, what's wrong? As he's saying, well, your brother, or your son is, I'm trying to think about it. That's what he's saying. I'll just mark him down as quirkless, okay? I can't tell, because he can never tell with them. Okay. Quirkless, right? Yes. But turns out, little did they know, Zuko was actually the reincarnation of Infinity Dragon, or Infinity Destroyer Dragon. So, the he was, and all three of his sisters were like, as Horikoshi wasn't allowed to go in with them. So the Horikoshi, that shoots fire breath one, like her husband, was standing outside. So then he asked Inko that, what are you surprised about? As she and the rest of them jumped in, went back to their house. As Inko tells her husband that there must be a new type that we have. Anyway, as her own husband says, "What do you mean, Inko?" As she explains that, "I think our son has something more powerful that even a court doctor doesn't even know." So basically, they went to school, and as after school thing, or during or before, he told Bakugo that because Bakugo was his best friend, so he told him that then I think I have or no, I was gonna say he has like that he doesn't, because Bakugo asked what his quirk is, as he says is something about, well, I don't have a quirk, but I have a special power. As Bakugo was not upset, as he knows that his friend has always been truthful to him. So like he says, "What do you mean, Deku? Like, I don't have telekinesis as my brother or my sisters, but I sure do have something else, totally different." As Bakugo's like, "Huh, okay." And so the class ends, and or that's just Zuko's point of view thing. Now we go on to UA where, or let's, so All Might met, or actually got introduced to, you guessed it, Mirio. Huh? Don't worry about that part. Duh. So, Mirio, or All Might, asked Mirio if he wants one for all. He said, "Well, sure." As he was in the second year of UA. So then they were like, okay. So And it was they reached 15. Him and his sisters, they're like siblings. They all they grew up together. They are the sisters, or no, they're siblings, but they grew up as when they got to 15, they got to UA. And Zuko, or the doc, or not, the teacher throws the papers up, and as it was the end of the school, and his sisters and him walk past, or whoever gets there first, it would be a rotten egg. As his sisters says, you're on, okay. Yeah. The as sorry about the volume thing. I really hope that it works now. So let's do a recap. So Zuko was a reincarnation of a Infinity Dragon that he stabbed himself because of old age. And all that stuff. So, and the sludge villain incident, and so Zuko, who was got left behind because of all three of his siblings left him, and the sludge villain went and attacked, but it was like slow motion. He moves out of the way, and then he activated his half of, or 10% of his quirk, or his power. So he you're so dead to me. As he basically obliterated from existence. There was no trace of him ever left. And he walks off or he so the All Might came there a little bit later and found nothing. As he's okay. So basically, and Zuko got home Ling. They said you're late. Well, as he tells them the truth, well, I was late because I had a sludge villain attacking me at a moment. As they're their face, they're saying, they were wait, what? As, okay. Yeah, I'm fine. But he did try to grab my body, though. Like, he wants my body. To, like, do something. So, don't worry. As they're like, yeah, we both, or all of us agree on one thing. We don't, like, because only oldest one is actually her. She did truly care about his or her brother, so basically she knows that next time we'll just make sure that you don't get injured or something. As he he like when he dodged, he like dented his elbow on the concrete as he was like, ow. But then, so how much time do I have? Okay, the so Zuko went to UA, or like after that. So him and his sisters were went to UA, and 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 Muriel was watching from a control room because he already did that test, so he's watching it with All Might. And so all three of them. So three of his sisters, like, and him did the quirk assessment testing, written part, and then the robot, or they were gonna do the robot part, and things almost went to Ken, but no, way worse. Hers, like, he says, "I'm so like ready to beat that robots thing." But hey, it's a lot better than that sludge villain that you let me behind for. As he, as his one of his sisters, like, yeah, that's a flaw on our part. As when All Might heard that from, so he must know something. As All Might heard that from Zuko that he was the one that had to deal with a sludge villain. Huh. As so Zuko was always just brains and bronze. So he basically ripped the handles right off before Mike started a countdown. And his three sisters went and 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 the they're all three of them got 4.5 trillion points for each one. That was so higher than and All Might. But then when the Zero Pointers came, Zuko uses his own, because now what he uses his powers for, as he basically, they had their limits of that Zero Pointers is way too heavy for them. But Zuko he used his own super strength and lifted it up. And he used his own power, like what you see on screen. He used to create 2 black holes, one for both sides, as like he destroyed everything. As so then he's like stands on 2 feet, and the entire class, heck, even Mirio saw like his power. As he turns and looks at his sisters and says, "Huh, well, that was fun. Let's do it again." Yeah, but you still didn't have enough for one lifetime. As he says, "But hey, it's a lot better than that sludge villain that you." And so basically, at their quirk thing, like quirk test, Mirio, decides to to walk up. Like, he basically literally walked up to Zuko and told him that, "How strong are you, kid?" Or first year. As he says, "Well, I am strong, but not strong as my sister and my brother, or sisters." As they're like, "Okay, yeah." And so after they, so Zuko was gonna put him in class 1B, and or actually they did. They put him in class 1B. Yeah? I know, you're probably flying over a keyboard and says, "Wait, hold on. You said they had like Dracilian points. Does that mean that they are class 1A students?" "Yes, but how much room that they have to be in?" So, but All Might doesn't know that. Or no one even knew that, except for Zuko. Or actually, All Might did not know that the sludge villain already got killed by a kid. So he okay. And so the next day, his sisters and they all made a promise that, and if anything bad happened, let me know, okay? Okay. Promise? As they're like promise. As they were like, okay. As they were pretty powerful by themselves. So, alright. Okay. So, let's do. So, heroes versus villains. Or quirk assessment test. I skip it because one. Blood hero. Or actually went. Or. Like oldest to youngest. So, Zuko was the youngest one. As everybody did their like ball throw, and Zuko threw when it was Zuko's turn. When he threw the ball, he almost broke the entire school grounds, or like he threw a ball and every glass or every school properties contains, and he made 100 feet in the ground and made a tornado appear at the same time. Like, that was crazy. Like, so the Zuko became like, well, what did I do? Or how much? As Blood Hero looks at his thing, and it said error, 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 all the way across the entire, thing. Like, it reached unleashed speeds. So, his own sister saw that much power. And then all of that stuff goes on. And Mirio saw like what Zuko did with his friends. Because when they were like walking down, they saw a big explosion and a big tornado that, as it's just like similar to, and Bakugo, was like upset up because, okay, who did it? Kind of look. As then when the smoke cleared and the dust, or when the storm cleared, he saw Zuko as he says, "What the heck, man?" As Class 1A is like, except for his sisters, was being like, okay, you should be with one of us. As Eraserhead tells them there was no room to put all of you students in. But now seeing his true power, or like his stuff, we safely just say, of course, heck. The entire Class 1B students even got flung backwards hitting the wall. Boom, 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 boom. Kind. It's me using my hand to do that. It's not that, like, there's one guy that's on this YouTube thing. Not this channel, but what if Deku was a reincarnation of Majin Buu? No? No? The guy, he does that. It sounds like him, like, doing something else during it. So, demonetized for him. So, a couple weeks have passed. As because they are rebuilding the school grounds and all that. Principal Nezu even walked up to Zuko and told him that his powerful could destroy the entire city if he wanted to. As he basically looked at Nezu and says, I would never do that, As he says, only... As he said, I'm so restrict on my abilities. It's once in a while get a taste of my power, or like a small taste. And the worshippers, I was trying to go for the, like, something, or it was a change of point of view. So the worshippers that worship their two deities, or I was gonna call them hands of the swords and the like life thing, and Inko was with the swords, and they were like, okay, and the priest, or I forget how to pronounce their names. He says, well, there's a most powerfulest entity in the world is now alive and well. So the at the USJ, where his sisters went to with their class, as one of them, like, mostly her, she telepathically tells Zuko that they're in trouble. As Zuko says, I'll be right there. Excuse me for a moment. So, as he warps to them, as he saw Mr. Aizawa getting pummeled by a Nomu, but before he got the final hit, Zuko caught that Nomu's fist, and he basically says, you tried to kill my sister's favorite teachers. Now you will die here. As the Nomu exploded, like, his brain exploded, like turning him into a fossil. As he still had the same look on him, he went and killed, or he was killing, or not killing, bruising, using all the villains to a point that they wish they were dead. Only two people that were still like was Kirigiri or Shiraki-san and Kirigiri of the villains. So these all those Class 1A students saw his demonic power as he becomes way more powerful than anyone. He became the force to be reckoned with, kind. As he does the same moves, like, if I was you, I would just surrender or someone, what is his name? All for One? I think he's watching this battle really closely. So he goes and looks at them and says, or looks at the camera and says, if you're watching this, don't attack Yue ever again. Because how powerful he was, they were like, so he basically let them escape one. As All Might saw like what Zuko did, as they said, or he says that, how did he get here real fast? As he, or his sister says, or I called him, because we made a promise that if we got in trouble, he'll come and fix it. Right, brother? As his brother turns and says, yep. Now, just let me deal with the rest of these villains. As he picked up every single villain so fast that, like, as heck, pro heroes are like, okay, like Snipe or heck, Bunny Girl or Midnight. So they had a meeting afterwards of what the heck, as he teleports back to Class 1B. I'm back. Sorry it took so long. As Blood Hero says, that's okay. What did you do? Oh, my sister called and wanted me to help them get out of some trouble. No big deal, right? As they're like, okay, Zuko, what did you do? Or, like, what did you help fix? Or what did you fix now? As everybody looks at him and says, well, let's say I encountered, or they encountered, more accurate term, the villains, real life villains. So I took care of them. Of those villains for them. As their all reactions are like, what? As of course, All Might asked one of the Zuko's sisters if how does your brother have that much power? As she tells him that our brother is always stronger than rest of us. He's way more braver and smarter. Like, he even one time he actually sorry. I'm drinking coffee right now. So they both like, of course, she says, yeah, he is stronger than anyone, and he had no fear of anyone. Like, say, like, of course, let's like switch over to All for One, shall we? So the All for One and says that that boy's powerful. I could sense a powerful aura radiating off of his body. As he asked the doctor if, as a doctor, I'm gonna do his voice when he did in the anime. Ah, that's Zuko Midoriya. His power level is, or he is very, very strong. He does. I was just reading about how, or actually, there's actually a creature back in the old days that, as All for One says, what kind of creature is he? As the doctor says, he is or that dragon or creature is Infinity Destroyer Dragon. It's a unique type. It can adapt to any attacks or any battle damage it can inflict. Basically, some people say it's very strong to not kill kind. As All for One's like, okay, let's keep a close eye on him. As Shiraki-sen says, we lost. As now, Shiraki-sen, as he says, this is not the end. This is a new beginning for all of us. As Shiraki-sen is confused about Shiraki-sen's confused about what he means by all of us. As All for One says, you know that kid that, as All for One says, that kid that knew where cameras were at. Sorry, he says, yes. What do you want from him? As All for One says, well, he is his name, or there's a creature that's called Infinity Destroyer Dragon. Infinity Destroyer. As he says, wait, is that my parents used to talk to me about, or tells me stories about them, about how he almost destroyed the entire world. Yes, with all that power, he could just easily break the multiverse with just one flick of his finger, or snap a. He could. So basically, I had this plan in my head before. So then, sports festival, or actually, Zuko was like, okay, as he got first place in the race and cavalry battle, but the battle, like first battle, was between him and that brain dude, the one that him, and it's almost similar to canon, but Zuko, or actually knows what his power is, brainwashing ability. So basically, he was like smiling and all that stuff as so, but when, or before they even get on the field, they said that don't throw any insults at me, okay? Or actually, don't try anything too crazy. As then when they got onto a battlefield thing, as a brain dude threw insults at him, as like so much that like he went from being like, okay, you're gonna meet him, to like being turned into like that guy. The Zuko who actually knocked the brainwashing dude out, and basically just absolutely annihilated the entire Colosseum with just one hit. As Bakugo was like, or actually he was or let's say he got Super Saiyan and kind, as Eraserhead looked at a corner of the glass and it was cracking. Then that happened. Well, as his own sister's trying to contain him, like, settle down, brother. As all three of them like hugged him. As All Might saw how powerful Zuko gets when he's at. Alright. As that's what Zuko said to his sisters. As all that power, as a brain dude was still or he was laying face down, um, as it was like Mirio saw like what happened, like like everyone, like heck, even Principal Nezu's like thinking in his head, did we make a wrong choice of putting him in Class 1B? As Class 1B students were also shocked that they have a force to be reckoned with kind. As he says to his sisters, I'm gonna go to the moon. As he says, or he said, sure thing, brother, to clear his head. As when he went to the moon, he actually built the entire moon base. Like domes, restaurants. It was designed like all that. But it was designed to hold the entire 2 planets. Yeah. By himself. He used, because one of his abilities was reality bent. So basically he created the entire iron thing to make it look like a city, and he also took it off and he refixed the moon. As he was just laying down on the bed that he made in his own bedroom, that was in that building right there, the one that looks like a pencil thing, because he was a high priest one, or not high priest, he was very strong. So he came back to Earth, as then Nezu walked up to Zuko, or actually during those days, just like a couple days, and he got met by a tribe, or I was gonna say a tribe, but the alien from another planet was like her and her. So both of them were like, hello human, I am an, or like whatever that type is. So, and if all of you are curious about what he, okay, here, I'll say it in part 2.